In this post-apocalyptic world, a virus known as Shred has spread throughout the world, causing people to lose their memories. A wanderer seeks shelter in the woods when he comes across a huge greenhouse with a "No Trespassing" sign, but as he approaches he is hit by Bee. Inside this house lives an isolated family consisting of the mother and her children Bee, Evie, Daisy and Gabe. The mother has designed a system to ensure their survival, which includes growing vegetables, clean air and having everyone wear necklaces with their initials to help them remember. They also have masks to protect themselves when they go out, although Gabe once forgot to wear one and now suffers from a dementia-like condition and is forced to be chained to his bed when he has a bad day. Any stranger who dares to trespass on their property is shot after they make sure it is not their long-lost brother Lucas. When someone is killed, the girls take a few body parts for ritual and fertilizer, then bury the rest. The man Bee shot has a photograph in his pocket, so Evie takes it before they get rid of him. She then hides the photo in a special box that she keeps buried in the greenhouse. At the time of the ritual, the family gathers around the body parts and expresses their gratitude for the protection of the greenhouse. They painted all the walls with drawings of Mother's story, part of their promise not to forget. One night, Bee is caught off guard when she sees a stranger approaching the house after taking off his mask. Bee uses a flashlight to execute the code and the stranger does not respond, so she should kill him, but for some reason, seeing his face causes something to flash in Bee's eyes. When the stranger faints, Bee decides to break the rules and bring him inside. Mother wants to get rid of him, but Daisy points out that the second rule says that everything in the shrine is sacred, so now the stranger is under their protection. Mother decides to take the opportunity to teach the girls how to sew a wound using the stranger's injured leg. The next morning, the stranger wakes up chained to a bed and finds Bee sleeping on the floor next to him. Gabe also wakes up chained and discovers that he has wet the bed, so Evie goes to find Bee to help her clean up. Bee wants to be with the stranger, so she helps Evie quickly remove the sheets, not caring that Gabe is still on the bed, and then leaves her alone to clean up Gabe. Bee returns to the stranger to tend to his beard, but discovers that he is awake. Bee is frightened, but tries to ask some questions that the stranger does not answer. After Bee and Evie change his bandages, the mother approaches to question the man, who thinks he never had a name. He explains that there is almost nothing left of civilization and that the few remaining wanderers are starving. One of them attacked him and caused his wound. He then asks if he can leave, but the mother won't let him because he knows about them now, so he has to stay and work like everyone else. Evie realizes that Gabe is uncomfortable with the stranger, so she tries to cheer him up by showing him games he used to play, but he cannot remember them. Bee is more extreme and brings Gabe closer to the stranger to touch his face and show him that they are all the same, but Gabe is not convinced. The stranger is sent to work in the greenhouse, although he is still chained up for security reasons. Bee is still obsessed with him, so she brings him a plate of fresh fruit and promises to teach him to read. Whenever Evie needs help, Bee tries to convince her to do it herself so she can spend more time with the stranger. At dinner, Bee tries to get the stranger to sit at the table, but the mother forbids him to take Lucas's place and sends him to sit elsewhere. When the stranger asks about Lucas, he discovers that he was a brother of theirs who left in search of survivors and never returned. Days pass and the stranger's leg improves. Daisy asks him about animals, as she has never seen one, and the stranger draws a horse. So Daisy steals a knife from her sister's basket to bring it to him. Watching Daisy play with the stranger makes Gabe jealous. Some time later, the stranger finishes carving the horse for Daisy in the form of a jigsaw puzzle. Gabe finds it and the stranger allows him to play with it, but Gabe cannot solve it. Gabe starts throwing tantrums and throwing things around, and the girls are unable to stop him. The stranger convinces Daisy to let him go and manages to confront Gabe to calm him down. In the evening, Bee looks in the mirror and sees a bruise on her face from Gabe's tantrum. The stranger approaches to tease her, and Bee accidentally calls him Lucas. The stranger says he cannot be Lucas because he feels things for her that a brother should not. Bee is happy to hear this because Lucas also felt forbidden things for her. The family no longer keeps the stranger chained up, and he is free to roam the house. One morning, the stranger finds Evie with his box and asks what it is, so Bee explains that it was a game he used to play with Lucas. He also says that he should not participate in all the rituals because he is an outsider. The stranger disagrees because he knows these rituals are done to remember who they are, and he needs to remember too. He then goes to Daisy and Bee to ask about the box. Daisy does not remember, but Bee does, because Lucas used to hide strawberries in it. The stranger goes to Evie to apologize for offending her, but she remains suspicious and admits that she would have shot him if she had been on guard duty that day. The stranger wants to help with the guard, but Evie just tells him to be careful. The stranger runs into Mother, who tells him that everything has a purpose and that she already has one in mind for him, but that he will not find it with Evie. The next day, the sisters are working on the plants when suddenly the stranger arrives and leaves a strawberry for Bee. In Bee's eyes, this is a sign that he is really Luke and has forgotten. In the afternoon, the stranger joins Bee on his clock to take their relationship to the next level. The stranger compliments B, not even stopping when B shoots another hobo. The new body is taken care of as usual, and once that is done, B and the stranger have fun at the entrance to the house. Evie sees them as she walks by, and this triggers a memory in her. Years ago she saw B do the same thing to Lucas. This distraction caused her to ignore little Gabe, who asked her out. The stranger then lifts his head and sees Evie. Later, the stranger finds Evie and asks her if she would like to watch, but Evie, offended, throws her spade at him, explaining that she will not be manipulated like her sister. The stranger notices something strange and finds Evie's box, which contains a bag with Luke's name on it, 2 old batteries, and a necklace with the letter L on it. The stranger asks Daisy about these necklaces and discovers that their mother made them when they were born and that they were not supposed to take them off. When it is time for another ritual, the stranger joins them, upsetting Evie. The stranger pulls out a bunch of coins he had with him when he arrived, and Lucas' necklace comes out. Since Evie will not admit to hiding it, the stranger says that the necklace has always been with him and that he forgot what it meant, but now he knows that he is Lucas. B and Daisy believe him, but Evie accuses him of attacking the real Lucas to steal it, and an argument ensues. Their mother interrupts to congratulate Evie for protecting the family. But B reminds everyone that Gabe's condition is Evie's fault for spying on his sister instead of preventing him from running outside unprotected. At dinner, the stranger is able to sit at the table, and these changes make Gabe nervous. Evie goes to ask Mom because she is the only one who knows the truth, but Mom just tells her not to worry because she has a plan. They listen to B and the stranger go at it on B's bed. A few days later, the stranger's leg is completely healed, but Mother still won't let him guard it alone. While the girls are doing laundry, Evie notices that B is not menstruating and tells Mother. Mother begins to keep track of B's monthly periods on her calendar, and a few weeks later tells her daughter that she is pregnant. B is very happy, but her joy ends when her mother explains that resources are limited, so B will have to choose between keeping the baby or the stranger. B starts crying and screaming, which triggers one of Gabe's panic attacks, causing him to run outside. Evie runs after him, remembering the day the same thing happened when he was a baby and lost his memory. The stranger without the mask grabs Gabe to bring him back inside before telling Evie that it is not his fault. Evie cries again as she explains that Gabe had a wonderful mind that she lost because of him. B interrupts and reminds the stranger that he is going with her for the next watch. B tells the stranger that she is pregnant and must leave, but he refuses, hugging B and promising that they will talk some sense into Mother. Gabe sees Evie asleep and climbs on the bed to try to climax. Later, while everyone is resting, Evie leaves the bed because she cannot sleep and the stranger follows her. He tells her that she does not have to live with guilt and that she does not have to do these things with Gabe if she does not want to. The next day, the stranger teases Gabe about his feelings for Evie, pointing out that he does not love him, but pities him. This infuriates Gabe, who breaks a window. The girls run to seal it before the poison gets in, and the mother scolds Gabe for what he did, but the stranger says it was an accident. Later, the mother tells the stranger that it is strange that Gabe was near him both times he lost control. The stranger admits that he thinks Gabe is becoming dangerous and might be happier out there without memories, but his mother refuses to change her mind and would rather keep Gabe than some random man. As night falls, his mother chains Gabe to the bed and reminds him of their history to make him feel loved. On his way out, he meets the stranger, who realizes that the lady cannot be manipulated like the girls and decides to kill her right there in the greenhouse with a gardening tool. The stranger then leaves the body and the tool next to Gabe's bed to make it look like he did it. When Gabe wakes up to find his mother dead, the stranger arrives and accuses him of murder, which angers Gabe, who attacks him. The girls hear the commotion and arrive just in time to see the stranger chase Gabe away. When the man says Gabe killed his mother, Evie believes him and bursts into tears. B refuses to believe that Gabe did it, so she tries to come up with an explanation. Maybe Gabe had a nightmare and killed her mother in her sleep without realizing it. Later, the stranger goes to Gabe, who is chained up, to gag him before opening the window, saying it is for the best. The stranger explains that he had to watch his loved ones disintegrate and wanted to forget them, but when he took off his mask, the poison did not affect him, so the poison will help Gabe be happy again. The girls begin preparing their mother's body for the ritual, but Daisy finds what they are doing disturbing, so Evie takes her away to calm her down. Not realizing that she has forgotten her box, B takes the opportunity to look around and finds the envelope with Lucas' name on it and the 2 batteries. This triggers a memory of shooting a hobo she never told her family about, so she runs outside and digs a hole in the yard to find a flashlight to help her remember everything. It turns out that the man B killed was the real Lucas and was unable to return to the code because the batteries in his flashlight were dead. She found the flashlight and the necklace, and after burying them all together to hide the truth, B took off her mask to forget what she had done. Since the batteries and necklace were in Evie's box, it means she knew everything that happened. B rushes back inside to yell at her sister for letting her think that Lucas might come back, but Evie explains that she did it to protect her from more pain. The stranger arrives, and when his attention falls on Evie, Bee gets jealous and runs out to forget. Evie tries to follow her, but the stranger stops her and reminds her that she has a right to her own life. Just then, Daisy arrives to tell the others that Gabe has changed. He is silent in bed, as if he were no longer there. While Evie tries to figure out what is going on, Bee goes back inside and does not recognize the stranger, confirming that the poison has taken effect. Evie begins to realize that she is losing her entire family to the poison. The stranger reminds her that he cannot forget either and promises to support her, so Evie agrees that they will not tell anyone about the bad things that happened and will work together to protect the family. From this point on, the hierarchy in the house changes. Evie and the stranger are the heads of the household, and Daisy comes to terms with the fact that she is Bee's daughter, not her mother's. The real Lucas had impregnated Bee and then left, and Mother made her choose between the baby and her boyfriend. After the new family performs the ritual for Mother's body, they begin a new happy life together. Bee no longer wears a mask when she goes out, and Evie hopes that since the stranger is the father, the child will survive with the father's immunity. Gabe starts digging in the garden one afternoon because a memory has come back to him. He finds two skeletons wearing Evie and Bee's necklaces, revealing that the living ones are not the originals.